This is Beatrice Leonard, and welcome to Travelers with Disabilities Having Fun. There's a such thing as a Santa Claus, Santa Claus. Our goal and wish for the new year, I'm explaining to our guests, was for us, people with disability, to have someone very special all to ourselves. And so Santa took pity on our soul. For those who know anything about the Graysons and the folks there in New Mexico and living large and winter nights and, Principal Rollins, the person that created these people for us is right here. And our guest is our author, Frances Ray. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
I would like to ask you first, before we get to your books, how do we get a nice lady from Dallas, Texas, a nice nurse working in the school with these nice little darling children to come up with these wonderful characters in your books? How did you do that?
Well, I always loved to read, and my parents really, really stressed reading. But in reading, I started reading books that I liked and some I didn't like. And finally, I just fell in love with the woman who wrote three wonderful romances where couples had problems, but they worked through those problems. And I love that idea and that concept. So from that, I started going to writing meetings, went to conferences and things, and just really trying to learn how to write, how to plot, how to put motivation, how to make the characters people you would care about. Mm-hmm. And from that, I just started writing. And working, as you said, as a school nurse practitioner, I need an outlet because so many times there are situations in school with children that I just cannot help. Mm-hmm. There are things that I can only go so far. You could only talk to parents so much, and the other agencies are only going to do so much. So when I write, it's just like my release valve. I can create my own world where kids are taken care of, where the bad guys get his, and the good people always win. Mm-hmm. So it's a kind of a release valve for me to write, and I write start like 7 o'clock at night until about 11 o'clock at night.
One of your books turned what you have done into a foundation to work with individuals who have been in abusive situations, The Turning Point. Yeah. What made you do that?
When I did the research for The Turning Point, I was not aware that domestic violence was so prevalent in my area. Unfortunately, Texas is number one in domestic violence death. Number two is that in 10 women, 8 of them, 3 of them at that time were being abused. The statistics now say 8 out of 10. So many women don't have a place to go. That may not have the education. If they have the education, there's something holding them in that situation. I wanted to give back. I wanted to say, okay, if you're in that situation and you want to get out, what can I do to help you? And what I decided to do was have the Turning Point Legal Fund, where they can go to the Family Place, which is a women's shelter in Dallas, and there's money in that fund for you to file for divorce or file for a restraining order, protective order for you. Because, just think if you had to leave your house tonight, what could you put in your little sack or your suitcase? What could you put in your car? And then when you left, you couldn't go to your job because he would know where you are. And that's just so heartbreaking. Women who have good men, women hug your guy, men hug your wife, because true love, somebody who really cares about you, who trusts you, is faithful to you, it is a gift. It's a precious gift, and you should just be thankful for that every day. Mm-hmm. But for those women who don't have that, who violence, they have to, afraid to go to sleep at night. Their children, come to school with bruises. Mm-hmm. And just think,
and sad and depressed.
Sad and depressed. And you think about sparking their parents, and these kids who won't look you in the eye, and you know that there's something terribly wrong, and you know they're going home to that situation every day. It's just such a heartbreaking occasion that I just wanted to do something, so I established that fund. And for all the books that I sell, I get royalties like twice a year, and when I get my little royalty check, I just write out a check and send to that fund to help these women.
Which book are we getting ready to turn into a movie? I say we because I am part of this. And which book, and I'm telling you, the actress I would like to be in that my niece I just saw is Angela Bassett.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, now she could be one of your daughter-in-laws if we can make her a mom, or either we can have her, I know it wasn't you that did it, but with Surprise. I think she would be good with Surprise, playing in that part.
Yeah.
Or Elaine.
Yeah.
We would need a younger woman to play your part, and that when I saw Living large, because remember she worked at her dad's business, and she met the guy that was a mechanic. But which one of our books that we love that I think we should have a movie?
But you know, the book I really would want to do was, I think, The Turning Point, where Adam, who was the hero in the book, was blind. He was carjacked out of his arrogance because he could have given the car key and walked away scot-free. But
how old was he in that book about?
36. And
is that too old for Denzel to play, you think?
I don't know.
See,
Denzel is so good looking. I mean, we can just like anywhere. Anything you want to do, Denzel.
But you see what I'm saying? So we need him in the book, and we need Angela, because they will do Turning Point
they would really do it. And we have Lily, who was fleeing domestic abuse by her husband, who was a deacon in the church. And you have two people on the opposite end of the spectrum. He's very wealthy, but now he is blind, and so he's just angry at the world. You have Lily, who's running from her husband, who was just scared out of her wits to kind of say anything. You have these two people come in who was very, very poor, who came up with a mother who used her body instead of her brain to get where she wanted to go. And you put these two people together, and you see how their relationships develop, how their trust develops in that. And I really like that book. But we also said, go on. I'm sorry.
That was just me when you were talking. I do that. You know, blind folks do that. Excuse us. But the guy, Blair Underwood, he would be good in there, too.
He would. He would.
He's another one, give you 20/20 out of So, I mean, he and Denzel would be good in that movie with Turning Point.
Who do you think would play Rafe? Rafe was the second book when we did Somebody's Knocking at My Door, a guy who has been abused as a child, who grew up thinking that he may be an abuser, who was just a loner but a wonderful person.
I don't know.
Inside.
We need someone that can shine through. What actor you think is really nice and just a nice guy? But he has to be a strong character, though. Yeah. He can't be weak. So, see, you need a junior Danielle and a junior Blair Underwood.
Yeah, you do.
You really would. We need to talk about this, because I'm telling you, I can sit right there, my dog and I, and just cheer everybody on. But I really wish you would turn that into a movie, and I don't see why they shouldn't, because it's a meaningful movie. And when you do that, don't let them turn it into a Hollywood thing. You know what I'm saying?
And I was thinking, in the story, we had a lady who was orientational mobility came out with her dog. That could be you and Obama.
We sure could.
See?
Especially if he's not in the White House. I'm sorry, I lose it sometimes. Forgive me. But the thing about it is, though, sometimes we get good books and it becomes too Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I just want you to make a commitment to us, since Santa brought you to us, that you won't let them turn it too Hollywoodish. You know?
I won't, because I know the book they did before, Incognito, it had some things in there that I really wished it did not have in it. So sometimes, but now the books that I'm writing, I have more control over them. What's going to happen?
Well, we only have a few minutes. Honest to goodness, time just flies so much. But you have so many exciting things going on. Remind everyone where they can just write you there at your email. Isn't that www.francisray.com?
www.francisray.com. And please go in there. There's a wonderful trailer for this book that's coming out now, In Another Man's Bed. It's a good book, too.
Yeah, it is, because, the part that's good, this lady got to make up her mind, because her husband was wrong, but he was in that car accident. And then the rest of the stuff, I don't know, you all. So I can't even give you the plot, and I wouldn't dare do that. Miss Frances Ray, I want to thank you and Santa so much for having you join us here and being our wish to have someone that's really real be our first person for the year. I want to ask you, if you have any ideas, suggestions, or questions or opinions, please feel free to give me an email here. My email address is twdhf@comcast.net. Join me here at myspace.com/Beatrice Leonard. And my website address is, here for travelers with disabilities having fun, is twdhf.com. That's it. twdhf.com. I look forward to hearing from you again, and hopefully that you will continue having a wonderful and marvelous travel experience. This is Beatrice Leonard signing out for right now. Have a great day.